நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சொன்னப்போ எதுக்கு இது
இது வரும்போது டேஞ்சரா தான் வருது.
10 கேள்வி கேட்டீங்களா எதுக்கு இது அப்படின்னு. ஸோ இப்போ இதை எடுத்துருவோம். பட் என்னன்னா நீங்களும் பிளேஸ் ஸ்விட்ச் பண்ணிடுவீங்க.
இவங்க என்னெல்லாம் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்காங்கன்னு திரும்பி பார்க்குறேன்.
I clearly had no idea why she bought this whole bunch of parsley there. இது எதுக்கு வர வச்சுக்க சம்மந்தமே இல்லாம.
Oh God, the urge to just say what it is.
Hi, welcome to Cook's YouTube channel. இன்னைக்கு நம்ம நியூ செட்டில் இருக்கோம், which means there is a new challenge. ஸோ இந்த சேலஞ்ச் வந்து 2 ஷெஃப்ஸுக்கு நல்லா நடக்க போகுது. We have something very interesting cooking up. So before we start, let's call Sanjna from Cook. So Sanjna, do you know what's the plan for today?
I mean, I obviously know who is the competitor. That I know. And I'm excited to work with her.
So let's call her Masterchef Aruna Vijay. So we'll give you both images of crime scenes. அங்க நடந்த கிரைம் என்னன்னா ஒரு டிஷ் வந்து குக் பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க. அது என்ன டிஷ் அப்படின்றது அந்த இமேஜை வச்சு யூ வில் ஹாவ் டு டீகோட். பட் வெளியே சொல்லக்கூடாது. யூ போத் ஷுட் நோ வாட் ஈச் அதர் இஸ் டூயிங். ஸோ அது பண்ணி முடிச்சதுக்கப்புறம் அடுத்து என்ன ஸ்டெப் நான் சொல்கிறேன்.
When I got this picture, I was clueless because it has too many things which all look the same. I mean, I could figure out this was butter, cream. This I really didn't know what it was unless I read this one. It said, add it in or it'll turn bitter. So I think that's when I figured out this could be methi. And so I made a drawing here which I want to do a bed of makhani sauce with a block of crispy paneer, a methi cream and a methi oil. So this is the dish that I actually wanted to make.
So looking at this, 2 directions. I think the first thing enna thonichna, it says brown, so there's something to do with brown stock or brown roux. No shortcuts, some flavor development happening there. Umami, and there's mushrooms, mustard, broth and cream. And why the pasta is there, I still don't know. So what I think can be made is a mushroom stroganoff sauce served with a cacio pepe homemade tagliatelle pasta. That's the plan.
பட் பண்ண ஆரம்பிக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி we have a small thing. So 2 பேருக்கு நடுவில் வந்து ஒரு டிவைடர் இருக்கும்.
Okay.
So you won't be able to see what she is making and she won't be able to see what you are making.
Okay.
Copy அடிக்கூடாது basically.
It's not the same dish.
அப்புறம் எதுக்கு divider?
அது வந்து உங்களுக்கு இப்போ புரியாது. அது வந்து அப்புறம் உங்களுக்கு புரியும் ஏன் வைக்கிறோம் அப்படின்றது.
So நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா I showed you the picture, right? It had a picture of this. அந்த போட்டோல இது இருந்துச்சு. This I think is a main ingredient. அந்த போட்டோல நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா it said small memo இருந்துச்சு இல்லையா? This is what it was. I'm assuming.
உங்களுக்கு ஏதோ காம்ப்ளிகேட்டடா இருக்குன்னு தோணுது. எனக்கு ரொம்ப சிம்பிளா இருக்கு. டவுட்டாவே இருக்கு இது.
அப்படியா? இல்ல. I hope I'm right, okay? Because the image, the CID image மாதிரி சுத்தமா இல்ல அது.
Let me throw you off slightly. The question that everybody is dying to know more of.
Yes,
please tell us about your Masterchef experience honestly.
That is all I'm living today. This is the Masterchef experience. Cooking on the edge without a clue what I'm cooking. This is exactly what we did on Masterchef.
Seriously?
Yeah. Every day, clueless about what we are cooking. No idea. என்ன பண்ண போறோம் உள்ள கிச்சன்ல போகும்போது.
But you always end up getting the dish of the day. So you obviously knew what you were doing.
எல்லாரும் அதான் நினைச்சாங்க. I think everybody had the same question. How is that you know everything and what is going to happen? No, but I feel anybody going on such competition, one thing I have to say is you have to do your prep work and go.
How do you do prep, Aruna?
I curate my own dishes.
Okay.
And I make a list of it with drawings.
That's something that I relate to very closely because that's what I also usually do when it comes to like the cooked off that we have in the office. What I typically do is again similarly look for recipes that I'd like to cook and then whatever ingredients they give just fit it into that somehow.
Yeah, so that's something that I think that's a prep that actually I did.
Why did you want to go on Masterchef?
I didn't think so much. I got a message saying there's an audition happening. Do you want to come and do a trial?
And what, overnight you just said yes and decided to do it?
Oh God, it doesn't happen like what people think. We had 6 rounds of audition before we actually come on TV.
I don't think that's something that anybody knows.
So I did my first round of auditions in Bangalore, 2 days. Second round of auditions in again Hyderabad.
Okay.
One day you present the dish, next day I had to cook it live in front of them with a challenge that they gave me. Like they said,
on the spot.
On the spot. Like literally on the spot, they gave me 100 ingredients from the pantry.
Okay.
You can decide what you want to cook from that.
So what, you cook at least 10 dishes before coming on camera?
Yeah. So my Masterchef on the set, what I cooked was they gave me a mirror. I could see myself. Then they said, do a dish that reflects you.
That's some dramatic stuff though.
Yeah. I did a dish that truly represents me. Rasam sadam. But in a very modern way. I did a noodles instead of rice. I did a rice noodles from scratch. Nadula vandu poriyal. I did a togel which looked like a ball. I did an instant beetroot appalam with urad dal.
Okay.
And I poured the rasam on the top. So it was like a ramen bowl. My version, but South Indian at heart like me.
Definitely sounds like something people would enjoy eating.
If you had not become a chef, what was your second option?
A veterinary doctor.
Veterinary doctor?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Very random, I know. I always like cooking.
Okay.
Because I used to like cook for Anna and Anna's friends and things like that. And they'd enjoy the food, but then beyond that I never saw myself cooking every day and all. But then I didn't have another option and I ended up going to college and I loved college. That's why I knew that I wanted to definitely continue on this and figure out whatever I wanted to do in the same domain.
Yeah.
Although I'm not sure how much you could learn because there's a lot that
yes, as a vegetarian
experience.
No, but thing is, no, as a vegetarian, I do have my constraints. So this was a big challenge even on the Masterchef kitchen, you know, ki what will I cook? Everybody has a protein. So they'll take a chicken, they'll make something and they will go on. For me, I have to look out for paneer or tofu as my base. So let me tell you, when you are on such a big show, Kandipa, when you're a vegetarian, it's difficult for the team also. The production team also. Because then they have to think of a challenge keeping you in mind because you're a vegetarian.
But they never insisted you to try and work with egg or...
No, there was a challenge where I had to work with egg.
Okay.
Luckily, I had my immunity pin.
Oh.
I won in the start of the challenge, in the competition. So I used that as my safeguard and I got escape. After that, God was very kind. Whenever there was a challenge like that, I think I was safe up in the gallery and not cooking that day.
ஓகே நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சொன்னப்போ எதுக்கு இது
இது வரும்போது டேஞ்சரா தான் வருது.
10 கேள்வி கேட்டீங்களா எதுக்கு இது அப்படின்னு. ஸோ நவ் ஐ டெல் யூ வை இட் வாஸ் தேர் இன் தி ஃபர்ஸ்ட்.
ஓகே.
ஸோ பேசிக்லி நீங்கள் ஒரு இமேஜ் பார்த்து இதுதான் டிஷ்னு கெஸ் பண்ணி குக் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டீங்க.
ஆமாம்.
2 பேருக்கு நான் என்ன பண்ண போறீங்கன்னு தெரியாது கரெக்டாக இருக்கும்.
கரெக்ட்.
ஸோ இப்போ இதை எடுத்துருவோம். பட் என்னன்னா நீங்களும் பிளேஸ் ஸ்விட்ச் பண்ணிடுவீங்க. இப்போ நீங்க வந்து
I'm going to continue her dish.
Yeah, and you continue her dish. Okay? Okay, I guess.
When I swapped places, I went to her table. I saw that she had இது தண்ணில பீரா.
Wow.
What is it? Some mushroom water on it looks like, but it looks like
இது எடுத்துலாமா? அவ்வளவுதானா?
You don't need this now.
Oh, ஆமா. I already know. You know what is on this side, la.
Yeah, correct.
What did I think when I first saw the dish? There was a really nice makhani gravy. There was a fried paneer steak, which was sort of like katsu. Some green color oil, herb oil. Oh, you've made some nice herb oil and all for garnish, I see.
And there was this sauteed mushrooms. And apparently she had kept sauteed also whole corns beside, which I really missed out. I think I've used everything that's there on the counter right now.
See, I literally kept everything for you, so you're welcome.
Yeah, I also made 3 key elements which you didn't figure out, by the way.
See, the makhani gravy is obviously one thing. And then there's paneer something, and then there's methi something.
Yeah, then combine, no.
So it looked like something that was initially, at least it was like, I was wondering if it was like a Japanese Indian fusion or what it was. See, இவங்க என்னலாம் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்காங்கன்னு திரும்பி பார்க்கறேன்.
நான் full dish almost முடிச்சிட்டேன். அந்த பேப்பர்ல drawing வேற பண்ணி வச்சிருந்தேன் அந்த டிஷ் பத்தி.
என்ன பண்றது இப்போ? உங்க பேப்பரே எங்கன்னு தெரியல.
I clearly had no idea why she bought this whole bunch of parsley there. இது எதுக்கு வர வச்சிங்க சம்பந்தமே இல்லை.
Oh God, the urge to just say what it is too damn high. So So I am going to add methi into this because apparently that was one of the ingredients. I almost missed it. Is this something you were using? Is this methi meant to be for something?
Yeah, that was.
Is it?
Hey, what if she doesn't use the main ingredient? Fine irukka.
Yeah, how would I know, bro?
Main ingredient use பண்ணலனா ஃபைனா இல்லையா? இருக்குல்ல.
Penna cheating பண்றீங்க.
You have to use the main ingredient. If you don't use it, then there's a fine.
Let's go with like a methi thecha butter noodles served with paneer steak and a makhani sauce.
You're making a thecha.
Yes.
இப்போ கூட நான் கேட்கலங்க, அவங்க தான் சொன்னாங்க.
Anyway, it's not one of the main ingredients. No, then how does it matter?
What is the main ingredient?
தெரியலையே.
அப்புறம்
இல்ல, this is definitely not like ஏன்னா நீங்க ஒண்ணு கூட நீங்க
But I can, the heat is there. Malaga that you sauteed, na? The same thing happened with me in Masterchef kitchen.
Yeah.
This is for the immunity pin challenge, no?
Okay.
And our tables got swapped.
Your table got
I mean, yeah, like exactly like what happened here.
Okay,
There was a
okay.
table, no?
Okay.
So like we did the exchange place.
Okay.
Oven table la pona, all he had was 5 bottles of honey and some cream that he had made and already kept.
Okay.
I had no.
Oh, so it was a dessert on top of that, huh?
Yeah, it was a dessert, and I actually don't like dessert. I'm not like a dessert person.
What could he possibly have been making with that?
So I made millet payasam,
Okay.
and I put it in the tart shell, served it with some cream that he had already made, and the remaining millets for the crunch element I made millet popcorn.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that's what got me immunity pin.
So you, I mean, end of the day, you figure out whatever had to be done. So there is definitely.
But here I'm a little scared,
because she's just gonna figure out what has to be done.
She's doing a crispy methi, she has thecha. இதெல்லாம் நான் actually பாதி பண்ணி வச்சிட்டேன். அது
I mean,
நீங்க அது
I'm slow. What can I say?
Can we do the plating? Yeah.
ஓகே, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இமேஜஸ் டீகோட் பண்ணி குக் பண்ணி, அதுக்கடுத்து டிவைடர் வச்சு குக் பண்ணி, அதுக்கடுத்து பிளேஸஸ் ஸ்விட்ச் பண்ணி குக் பண்ணி 2 பேரும் அவங்க டிஷஸ் முடிச்சுட்டாங்க. நவ் லெட்ஸ் கால் தி ஜட்ஜஸ்.
ஸோ இந்த க்ரைம் சீன் ரெண்டுமே பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. ஸோ ரெண்டுத்தோட ஹிண்ட்ஸ் வச்சுட்டு இது வந்துட்டு ஒரு மஷ்ரூம் ஸ்ட்ரோகனாஃப், அதுக்கப்புறம் இது வந்துட்டு லசுனி மேத்தி பன்னீர். இது 2 தான் இதோட பேஸ் வந்துட்டு. பட் 2 பேரும் வேறு வேறு டேக் எடுத்திருக்காங்க இங்கே. ஸோ அப்படியே டேஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டு
நான் ஆல்ரெடி ஒன்று டேஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டேன்.
என்ன டேஸ்ட்?
ஸோ இதான் பண்ணேன்.
ப்ராப்பர் அந்த ஸ்ட்ரோகனாஃபோட பேஸ் டேஸ்ட் இருக்குல்ல,
அந்த ஆனியன் மாதிரி அந்த மஷ்ரூமோட சங்க்ஸ்,
நல்லா இருக்கு.
சாஸ் எல்லாமே சூப்பராக இருக்குது.
இதுதான் வந்துட்டு ரொம்ப டிஃப்ரெண்ட்டாக இருக்குது.
அந்த பிளேட்டிங்கும் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்குது. ஸோ ரொம்ப கிறிஸ்பியாக இருக்குது. அண்ட் இது ஆல்மோஸ்ட் ஒரு டொமேட்டோ சட்னி மாதிரி இருக்குது. சாப்பிட
டொமேட்டோ சட்னி மாதிரி
ப்ரோ எனக்கு எப்படி இருக்கும்
அது மகனி இருக்கு.
நல்லா இருக்கு.
தக்காளி சட்னி மாதிரி இல்லை, பட் இன்னும் நல்லா இருக்கு.
அது மகனி கிரேவி.
பட் நம்ம கொடுத்த பேஸ் ரெசிபிக்கு க்ளோஸாக இல்லை இது. இதுதான் இன்னும் க்ளோஸாக இருக்குது. ஸோ ஐ திங்க் I'll pick this one.
For me also this one.
Cool. So if you guys like this video, like, share, subscribe to Cook and Masterchef Aruna Vijay.
Thank you.
Happy to have had you in this episode.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Crazy good, and see you in the next episode.
Bye bye.
Bye.